Hey, buddy.
What's going on, man?
What are you doing?
I'm hanging out, ready to talk to you guys.
All right, hold on. Why is my camera off? There we go. Oh, there it is.
There's the stuff.
Back in the office again.
Back in the office. I was just going to say that.
Now we're back.
Now we're back.
Yep. Now we're back.
Waiting for Bianca, as per usual.
Yep, as per usual. How's life?
Not too bad. How about you?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. Hanging in there. I'm making I'm crafting. A little this morning.
Oh, really? What does that mean?
Yeah. Back in the day, my buddy Israel Gomez, we did a wedding together, and then he showed me the way he did his wedding. He would glue his sermons into this journal.
Yeah.
His sermon notes. Hey, there's B.
Hi.
And so then I started doing that at weddings and funerals. But now I have trouble, crafting, like throwing things away. I do stuff.
Yeah.
So I glue them in. At first, I glued them into journals. These are old sermons.
Yeah. Because
I like to preach out of the Bible. And so, but then just for like keepsakes, But then I'm like, why should we be ruining, $6 journals? I'm just gonna glue them in books I don't like. And so I glue my sermons. I glued my last batch of sermons, all the sermons that I've preached since I've got here to McGrath. I glued into Metastasis's book, Miracles. I mean, it's a good book, but I think, I don't know. I just was like, I've read it. Don't really need to keep it, so I just glued it over the. Anyhow, and so now I'm making this for the spine of it. Like I cut out JWG. I'm gonna glue it in. I'm gonna tape it on the spine. Hey, baby.
We'll hide this.
Tell me.
Is the journal for you or for someone else? And you put your initials on it.
It's for him.
It's for me. It's just it's filled with old sermons of mine, just sermon notes.
Oh, got it. Notes.
I think your ordination service is in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, when the people come and say, prove to us that you work on other days besides Sunday, we will not show them this clip.
Yeah.
This is, and then I meticulously. I think this podcast is evidence enough.
I glued them in, and then I covered the name of the book with duct tape.
Smart.
And then I'm going to use negative space to say JWG on the side.
That's a good idea.
Right there, JWG.
Oh, that's gonna look good.
It's good.
Yeah, gorgeous on the bookshelf. Anywho, I think
turn on a light.
I don't even know if we need to talk at all, Greg. I want to hear about B. She looked like she went everywhere. I can't wait. That's the end of the story.
I'm not
super fun.
I was trying to figure out how to make my trip into 3 things, but can I make it into 3 things or?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the three best of your trip. Yeah. Three best of your 3 best stories.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh gosh. Or just 3 best. I don't want to put any pressure on you.
Yeah, no pressure. Jeez.
Zero pressure.
Well, right now I only have 2 things.
You have this amazing.
I'm just glad to be back with you.
I know, it's been a while. And everyone's taking summer off?
Not exactly, but the next couple of weeks I'm off.
No.
I'm off, and I have 2 weeks, and then I'm off for 3 weeks because it's Malia's 40th, and we're headed to Cali.
Oh, fun.
I record next Thursday, but then that night I go on vacation. So
we can do Thursday. I
would actually like to do next Thursday
if
if possible.
Yeah.
Day camp. I have to be at day camp at 8:30.
Whatever they want to go earlier, because that's too much for you. That's pushing it.
Yeah, that's way too
Oh,
early.
yeah.
What time is day camp done?
1.
Which is what time?
And
your
is
time
day
difference?
camp
That's 3 my time.
4? That's 4 my time.
Yeah, 4 and 3.
You want to do it then?
Is that cutting it close for your vacation, Greg?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 2 o'clock might not be. That's probably tight. Never mind. It probably just doesn't work next
Is
week.
day camp? Is day camp every day next week?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
every day like next week. And then let me see if I just have 8:30 and then maybe I could be done around 9. But let me see where I am. I'm either here at the church or at the park.
Are you rocking a U.S. jersey, B?
No, it's Ken Griffey Jr. 24 ever.
Yeah,
Because
Nice.
I went to the Hall of Fame induction of Ken Griffey Jr.
that's awesome.
Nice, the gripper.
I am.
Nobody called him the gripper, did they?
Yeah, that's
The
never
gripper.
happened, ever. That's literally never.
That's never happened. Gripper.
I am actually.
I love calling people.
What
I
did
can
you say,
maybe
B?
do 9 to 10 on Thursday.
Okay, that's just an
I have
hour
to
later than we normally do it.
Take my intern out of the office, but that's okay.
That's good form.
So let's do 9 to 10 on the 29th.
All right,
Oh.
so that's 11 to noon my time.
Western Standard
I
Time.
think, okay.
Pacific Standard.
I was gonna correct him, and I'm like, Jason knows that. He lives there
I know,
so
you're like from there your whole life.
much, and yet still.
PST. And that's what time my time? That's 12 to 1?
12 to 1 your time.
Okay. Perfect.
Busiest
Wonderful.
week, making it more busy.
In
My
ink.
life.
Now we're talking.
In
Now we're
ink.
talking.
In
Oh
ink.
yeah, no sleep till
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
But then we take 3 weeks off or whatever. So
Yeah.
we'll be good.
Just do it once.
That's true. I have.
I like
a
your
lot
hat,
going on.
Greg.
Thanks, man.
Toes on the nose.
Yeah, toes on the
That's
nose,
it.
bro.
Are they from California? I think
Is
they're
that
from
what it says?
California.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I think it says designed in California or created in California. Yeah,
Yeah.
Is that a brand or a band?
it's some kind of surf company.
Oh,
I looked up to make sure it wasn't
It's
anything.
because you know the saying hang 10 and hang 5. It's because that's called walking the board, and if you hang all 10 toes off the front of your board, that's called hanging 10.
Oh,
And so
Very
toes
cool.
on the nose is when you get your toes all the way on the nose of the surfboard. You're like, have you seen Endless Summer?
no, but I know the poster.
Have you seen? Yeah, the poster. The guy's hanging 10. He's on the front of the board, and he has his toes on the nose. He's got the. Anyhow,
That's good.
that's
It's fun stuff, dude.
it's one of those things that puts a visual in any surfer's mind. It's like,
Right.
that's awesome. That's just relaxing. That's peaceful.
Also, looking at my book, I'm reminded I'm going to Portugal the Man on July 20th.
No way.
Yes, way.
No way.
I'm so excited. I
That's
forgot
awesome.
that I bought those tickets.
Do you remember we saw them in San Antonio? And
You saw them. I haven't seen them.
Jason.
you weren't at that show?
No, I wasn't there.
That was with Tim
I think you with Rachel
Satterfield
and Tim.
and this
Yeah.
and this guy named Clint.
Uh-huh.
And it was really funny because Tim Satterfield, like we were talking to the band right afterwards, and Tim Satterfield said something ridiculous. Like, I don't know, he kind of,
Not cool.
yeah, it came across like he wanted to date the singer, and this guy from Texas, Clint, goes, dude, that is the lamest thing I've ever heard anyone say. Just right in front of everybody. It was one of those like office moments. Like, it was so awkward. It was crazy. It was awesome.
Oh man.
That's a good story.
I don't even remember what he said. Yeah, we should call up Satterfield sometime and ask him what he said.
That's a good idea. We'll put that on the list.
No. All right, let's start this thing. Otherwise, I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna
what's
get
the
hungry.
order of things? Does anybody remember?
Oh,
I know
man.
I did something last week.
Well, we all
Or
did
last time we
something
were
last
together.
week.
Yeah, I know, but I think I picked them. Does that help anybody?
Yeah, that's information.
Oh, and then
Yeah, you did pick them. You did pick them
I
last.
did pick them. I remember picking
you went
those.
second last week. Did you start
Yep.
it, Bianca? And then Jason went second, or did I? Yeah, That's right.
Stuff.
yeah. So I start and go second
Nice.
this week.
For some reason, I think you started, Greg.
It's possible. I think I started the first time we did This Week in Gratitude, and then Jason started, and then last one was the third This Week in Gratitude. So I think you started it.
Oh, okay. So then it's
So
you
I think,
again.
I think it's me again. So I start.
Jason.
Bianca goes second, or no?
Oh,
Bianca goes first and picks. No, Bianca goes.
You start and I go first.
Is that right? I start and you go first, and then no. Jason picked last week.
Oh, by start you mean say the intro.
No, I'll do the intro, and then somebody has to do the first one first.
I think
That should be
you
Jason.
do the first one too.
No, you don't do the
Okay.
intro and the first one. It's
Okay,
Jason.
that doesn't happen. That's
Yeah.
just straight up silly.
No, I just remember, like, I know that one for sure doesn't have it. Okay, so Bianca's picking,
6 minute abs.
which means she
5
goes
minute
last.
Okay.
I'll introduce the podcast. Jason goes first. I go second, and then Bianca goes last.
Okay.
Because we tried to do it the other way, but we realized you just end up with like a half hour of one person talking if they do the introduction and then go right into the.
Yeah, because I remember having to do that before. So we used to do that, but not anymore.
Way back in the day, maybe.
Oh,
Not
well, I
anymore.
remember doing it.
Not anymore. It's done now.
We're
What-
so
what's
much better at potting.
Jason, are you doing something?
Yeah, I hear some weird staticky.
Jason, do you have like a fidget spinner right there or something?
No, I was just checking my email on my cell phone.
All right.
All right, start this thing up.
No.
Again.
Welcome to This Week in Gratitude. I'm going to do that over again because I didn't have anything after that. I really thought if I started
Welcome
talking,
And
would
goodbye.
it would fill in, but it didn't fill in.
Insert long pause.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to This Week in Gratitude. We are glad you are with us. This is our podcast every week where we get a chance to talk to each other. My name is Greg. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. I'm with my buddies Jason in Muskegon, Michigan, and Bianca in Seattle, Washington. We are all pastors, but we all have a bunch of other things in common, too. And so every week we try to get together and talk about the 3 things from the last week that we're most grateful for and the things that have been impacting us the most. And then we share those around in no particular order. And at the end, one of us this week, it's the amazing Bianca Quesadilla, is going to pick, that's not really how you say her last name, but I can't say her last name, so that's how it goes. She's going to pick the winners and rank the 5 best things at the end of every week. So that's Bianca's turn this week. And that's basically what you need to know. If you love the podcast, subscribe. If you mildly enjoy the podcast, subscribe. If you hate the podcast, please subscribe. And then pass it around, let other people know that you subscribe. That would be awesome. You can rank us on iTunes, and that helps also. We are now officially over 2,000 downloads, which is exciting, and has no context anywhere. So
Yeah.
just a random number.
No
That was-
t-shirt yet. No
no
t-shirt
t-shirt
yet.
yet for Jason. But we are excited about it. I keep having conversations with people who listen to it or have things from it that they've enjoyed, and so that's pretty exciting. How are you guys doing?
Really?
I'd 1
well.
to 10 like an 8. I'd give myself an 8. 1 to 10, 8.
Strong
Like
of it.
10 being good, 1 being bad. And Travis Wright, he texted the other day that he had listened to it.
Yeah,
So
he loves
just
the podcast.
shout back out to him. Yeah, I like that guy. He's tall.
Shout out.
He
Anyway,
almost made my
let's
top 3
do-
this week, and I didn't put him in at the last second. So
Yeah.
tough break, Travis. Sorry, man. Next time, maybe.
I like. Now he doesn't listen. Okay.
Now he doesn't
Now
listen
we.
to me.
Yeah, my first one.
Yeah.
Alt J. Alt J just came out with a new album called Relaxer.
Okay.
Highly recommend it. The one flaw is it's really short, but excellent. And I turned it made my top 3 mainly because it's one of the few bands that my little brother actually introduced to me, and so it makes me like them even more. I don't know. It's a genre that I don't even know what genre that band is in. Maybe I don't know. I don't even know.
I was going
But
to ask that.
just-
What should I be bracing for as I
Bands
listen to
that
this short
Bianca
album?
likes.
They're unlike every other. I know there's a lot of bands that they say that, but I think I made a mixtape with them, mix CD, whatever, and I put them on, and I put Cake on, and I put Spoon on. I think they're in that vein, like they're in the outside the box vein.
A little Portugal the Man, Dirty Projectors, just kind of like throwing it all at you.
Are they loud? Are they quiet? What do they do?
Very rhythmic, very like, and what I like about him is their drummer is ridiculous. He keeps simple beats and puts things over the edge. It's got, just listen to All J, and you should probably start with off of their second album, Left Hand. I think it's called Left Hand Free. That's their quintessential song. This new album, it's cool how they run the gamut. There's actually in the song with almost a classical piece. It's almost they've arranged this like Bach or like Mozart piece. It's excellent. I think they're super creative. They're super. I think they're super millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah, real short.
They've been around for a while. That reminds me. They have a Tiny Desk concert on NPR. If you want to see it a little stripped down, I think they added some strings to it. But check it out on NPR. And I remember finding it one day, and I listened to it over and over again. It's really good. Nice. And then go and listen to the produced album.
And just a side note, they've owned every late night, because they've played this one song. I don't even know the name of the song, but they played the same song on Kimmel and Colbert and Conan, and it's good. They did a really good job.
You're all face. Yeah, I've heard it. Agreed. I pro that, Jay. I forgot that they would come out with something new. I really, really like them.
All right, so Jason and Bianca both like Alt J.
Alt J.
And this is the first time. This is the first time they cover somebody. They do a Dylan cover.
Oh, really?
House of the Rising Sun. Yeah, I think that's a Dylan. I know Dylan does it, and that's the first person I've ever heard do it. But it might be a House of the Rising Sun. Might be somebody else.
I think so.
Awesome.
I don't know.
Anywho.
All right, Alt J.
Who's next?
I'm next.
Yeah.
All right, my next one is a weird one. I'm just going to know that ahead of time.
Hot tubs.
Super fascinating. All right, so I just learned about this thing. And it was
super fascinating.
but weird. So
y'all can tune back in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So the Yale Library has a rare books collection, which is pretty common for libraries. But Yale has a book in their library that's dated from the 1420s that nobody can read. It's called the Voynich manuscript, and the idea is some monks wrote this in like the 1400s, and it went kind of unnoticed until like the 1800s, and then this guy Voynich bought it at a book sale at a Jesuit monastery. So he buys this book. He can't figure out what it is, but he's interested by it. So he ends up bringing it to America. It ends up at Yale. But the amazing thing is, like, based on everything they can figure out, it's an actual language with actual symbols that doesn't seem to be a hoax of any kind. It's got drawings and pictures and all that kind of stuff all the way throughout it. It looks really cool, but nobody can read it. They can't figure out what language it is. So I'm fascinated by this whole thing because it's I'm always amazed by the way language works anyway. But that there's a book that was written in a language not all that long ago, right? Like, it's 5 or 6 years ago. That's not crazy.
Is it the only book that uses this language?
Yeah. So there's all kinds of possibilities, right? Like aliens is one people like to use with this manuscript, which is ridiculous.
First thought. First thought.
So aliens is a possibility.
Obviously. Aliens.
One possibility that people think is it's a hoax, right? Like that maybe like 2 or 3 of these monks were scamming this guy who was buying the book originally. Like somebody paid them to write this book, and so they faked it. One possibility is that Voynich is scamming everybody with the book. That one seems unlikely because of the dating of the book. It would have been hard to imagine how a guy in the late 1800s would have been able to forge the 1400s. Like paper and ink and all that stuff. So anyway, it's just super fascinating. But they've had like cryptographers through, and like based on everything they can tell, it is a legitimate language. The other option is that it was a written version of a spoken language that we don't have anymore. So like a tribal dialect, not a tribal dialect, but like a local dialect somewhere. But this still kind of seems like we should be able to figure that one out, but we haven't been able to do so. Fun detail, because I can tell you guys are super fascinated by this.
I really am. Actually, it's so that's my guess.
You can actually buy your own copy of it.
This is my first hearing of it, and this is my guess. I think it was two guys just writing a code language. You know what I mean? Like it's my son and a couple buddies, they have like their own code. And they write back and forth, and just because it's kind of nerdy or what they're doing. Probably maybe that.
That's an option. That's another one on the table. One of the things that makes it tricky is it's clearly written by at least two people, and it's illustrated by a third person. Like you can kind of tell from the handwriting and stuff that it's at least 3 different people involved in the manuscript. What is this intro?
I love this one, Greg. I think that's an awesome one. It's an awesome find. What's the name of the book? How do I find this stuff online or on the World Wide Web?
If you look up the Voynich manuscript, it looks like itch, but it's ick.
How do you spell Voynich? Okay, I'll try and just guess how I spell them.
Voynich manuscript. If you type in that and TED Talk, there's a really cool like illustrated video for like 4 minutes that explains the thing. And then if you're interested in it, you can take a deep dive into a bunch of other stuff. Like you can actually, there's Yale's put out like an hour-long video on it that you can watch them turn pages and stuff. If you're really into it.
So you haven't seen it yourself?
No, I saw that stuff. Yeah, I haven't seen the book itself. No.
Oh, okay.
But you can buy a manuscript of it for like $30. So I'm tempted to kind of pick up a manuscript of it.
What if you were the one to break the code, Greg?
And that's the temptation part of it, right? Like that's like, oh, this could be really cool. So here's a fascinating thing about language. I think this is the part that gets my brain going like crazy. This
is my father-in-law loves this stuff.
Yeah, the only way this stuff ever gets solved
epistemology
is somebody just guesses right eventually, right? This is no different than like the cryptoquip in the newspaper or whatever. Like you're just placing letters on letters, and if they happen to spell a word, then you guessed right. And then if that word works throughout the rest of the document, then you were right. And that's how the Dead Sea Scrolls were solved. So they got them and they were all dialects that we didn't have, and people were like stumbling around with them for years, and then finally some architect had a hobby of language stuff and he solved it in his basement one night.
Could be you.
Probably not, but it's interesting.
Could be you.
I like the idea of it more than I like actually doing the puzzle.
Because we have computers now and they can do that for you.
Yeah, they can do that way faster. But it would be a fascinating. Like I always thought it'd be an interesting.
Way to rain on everybody's brain. Yeah.
But like, wouldn't that be an interesting movie? Like, just a random guy solves this puzzle, and then it like unlocks a whole bunch of stuff about history.
Super interesting.
I think it'd be you.
And then people try to kill him.
Interesting movie. A random guy.
You'd buy that ticket.
No, like Jack Black or somebody. But then like. But then people try to kill him, right? Because it unlocks some sort of weird conspiracy, and then like the Knights of Templar try to destroy him. I haven't written a movie. I'm thinking.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Like Code meets I don't know.
Some random guy.
It's like Da Vinci Code meets High Fidelity. Tell me you won't watch that movie.
Fidelity, all of a sudden you're John Cusack.
That's not me. You guys are making it me. It's not me. I was thinking of the guy.
I would say
some random pastor solves the puzzle.
Not pastor. I said random guy. I was thinking Jack Black in High Fidelity.
I think it would be a good.
He sings in a jazz.
I think it would be a good big. I think it would be a good Big Lebowski too. Like,
yeah, now we're talking.
Somebody like Big Lebowski figures that out. Never mind. But you mentioned TED Talk. I just want to do a shout out to. I have a friend. We were interns for a while together at St. Andrews. Then he went off and invented Club Penguin.
Oh yeah.
He's the first friend of mine that did a TED Talk. He just did a TED Talk. Yeah. So shout out to Lane Merrifield. He'll never hear this podcast, but maybe he will. But I'm like, that's awesome. Somebody I know did a TED Talk.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyhow.
Nice work.
That's a really strong start, Greg. Just a heads up. I think that's a
crazy
wicked good
one. I'm
one.
just telling you, when you look it up, you'll be like, wow, this is way more interesting than Greg made it sound, Bianca.
Yeah.
I can tell
I will not be thinking, man, this would make a good movie.
You will. All right, fine.
Also,
Okay,
I thought the point of
fine,
the story is that you saw this book and you didn't actually see it. It's just
No,
something you read about.
I'm just fascinated by the idea.
That's a horrible ending, Greg.
Listen, we can't all just jump on a plane and travel the world anytime we want, Bianca. All right?
We can't all live in Cleveland. We can't all live in Cleveland.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go next.
Okay.
In the last few weeks, I went for 1 week, I went to Europe, and I'm trying to break out this 1 week whirlwind into 3 different gratitude things. But overall, I'm just super grateful of my life and that I'm able to do this. I was able to count on people at work. I was able to win these tickets and go and see them and have the ability to. So I'm super grateful just for all of that stuff. I went to Dublin first for a few days and went and saw an Eddie Vedder, Glenn Hansard show in Dublin, which was awesome. And then to Iceland for a few days, mostly Reykjavik, which they have a bar called the Lebowski Bar. And
Nice.
and they served White Russians, like different iterations of White Russians, but they were so expensive, we didn't go. I mean, everything in Iceland was super expensive, and so I took a picture of it. But they were all out Lebowski. That was kind of cool. And yeah, so I don't know what to do for my first one. I was going to say a little something, my favorite thing about Dublin, and for that, it was for sure the history of getting to know the Irish history. I've traveled before this moment, but I learned something about myself in that I realized that when I go to a new city or a new country, a new place, I'm super interested in the history. One of the first things I wanted to do was go to their history museum. We didn't do it until like the 3rd or 4th day, but I wish we had done it earlier, and then I would have a context for all the things we were seeing, all these old buildings, cobblestone roads that had been around since the 1100s. There's this old church called Dublina. And so anyway, I learned that about myself. I should have known that already, but my travel partner, it was funny because she didn't really think of it that way. And so then I realized, I guess that's unique. Some people travel wanting to see the new modern things, and some people travel wanting to see the history things, and I'm more of history. So we did end up doing all that stuff, and it's super interesting. I'm reading a book right now called The Immortal Immigrant about an Irishman who was there for the one of the Irish uprisings against the English right after or during the potato famine. And then he's exiled to Australia and then leaves Australia and goes to America just in time for the Civil War. So it's kind of like Forrest Gump. He's like, this one man has been in a ton of different situations in the late 1800s. And so that's another, I've come back wanting to learn more too. So ton of gratefulness and just learning more about Ireland. It's super fascinating.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question, B. Yeah. Have you always been that history focused, or is that maybe something that you've grown into, or like was the person that wanted to see the newer stuff younger?
No.
Or
I think it's personality. And honestly, I guess I never attributed that to myself because my stepdad and my brother are so into history. I guess I just figured, I'm not as into it
that
as
makes
them,
a lot of sense.
Therefore I'm not. But then I get there solo, get to figure out my own itinerary, and I'm like, I guess I don't have it to their degree. They exclusively read books on history. I read other things, but I do have it, and I guess some people don't. It's all to different degrees, and I didn't realize how much that it affected me. And I do think it's because of the family I grew up in. But for whatever reason, I thought, that's not me. That's my brother and my stepdad. But really, it is me, and I'm super interested in it, and I'm glad. I learned a lot about the Vikings and these uprisings they've had and these like famous people in Ireland. And I'm excited to go back and maybe go to Northern Ireland next time. But Dublin, we took a tour around to the west coast to the Cliffs of Moher and some other small towns. So I saw a lot of Ireland, but stayed mostly in Dublin. So it was really fun. And if you ever get the opportunity to go, take your kids.
Have you ever been to Ireland, Jason?
I have not. I've never really been to Europe. I've been to Russia and like Romania, so I've been to.
I've never been to Europe at all either. That's
Western Europe.
Super jealous of Bianca.
Or Eastern Europe, not Western Europe.
Hey, so I do,
Yeah.
but I am Irish. Like I'm, like whatever background Irish. I have two fun Irish stories.
Okay, let's hear them.
That you guys can chime in with fun Irish stories if you want to. One of my favorite, a comedian from a long time ago used to tell a joke about being Irish, and he goes, "There was a potato famine, and half our population died. We live on an island where you can fish for everything, and because we couldn't grow potatoes, we couldn't survive." He goes, "We're a stubborn people," and I always thought like that's the best description of being Irish. Like it's
but it's actually not very accurate because they had enough food to feed them, but the English were in charge of everything and sent it off that island.
It still makes me laugh every time I think about it, though. Okay, we're like, that's it, we're done.
All right.
And then the other one.
They're also very nice people. I don't know what their reputation is, but the people I met were super nice, hilarious, yada yada yada. But okay, go ahead.
So the other one is when the Irish were trying to get St. Patrick to come stay there, like live there and start a church there. They didn't ask him to come start a church. They just told him, "Come walk with us, or come live with us." And it was like, oh man, that's just a cool. I've always liked that story of Ireland and church planting. Like it's
biblical.
Yeah. Come walk with us.
There's a really good book out there called The Celtic View of Evangelism, and it goes into St. Patrick's idea of community first, and then kind of missions comes out of the community. But yeah, that's awesome. I don't really have any Irish stories.
What?
I've known too many. I've known too many people in my life that are too Irish.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of anti. Like I don't know.
All right,
my wife is super.
I'll take Jason. Here's my third one. This is my last one.
My wife is super Scottish because McCandless is like they have their own little thing like that. But keep going. You.
All right. So in the movie The Departed, it takes place in Boston, and Matt Damon's in bed with his like fiance, who's been cheating on him with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he leans over, and spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
It's been out for like 15 years.
Little late.
So he leans over and he says, "Are we all right?" And she said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Because if something's wrong, you should tell me now, because I can live with things effed up forever. I'm Irish." And that's true. So anyway, that's file that one.
Those are a few anecdotes. Country is
Irish anecdotes.
Quite complicated. Everyone should go experience it. Have you ever thought of taking your kids to Europe? You said you'd never do that.
I really want to go. I just have never figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to one of these days.
I kind of.
Family.
Yeah.
Jason's dream for this podcast is that we get enough people to get shirts. My dream is that we get so big that Europe calls us and says, "Hey, we want you to come do a live taping in Dublin." I assume that's how it works.
In front of 20,000 fans.
I don't care about the number, but I just want Europe to call collectively.
Keep that dream alive.
Listen, I'm a dreamer.
I'm a dreamer. That's what we know about Greg.
That's what we know about
He's a dreamer. And
a romantic. As soon as I solve this this unknowable book, watch it.
That'd be a good movie.
They'll be willing. They'll fly us out there. You'll know the code.
Right.
We'll just fly
the
around.
Code is send Greg to Ireland. I'm gonna type that one in and see if it comes up. All right. My number 2 is.
I'm not.
You win already.
What? What about me?
No, Jason.
Did I start? I started with that. Yeah. I haven't done it. Number 2.
You started. Go ahead then. What am I waiting for?
Yeah.
That was my first. Yeah. My number 2 is Flaked. That television show on Netflix. It's from. It's with the guy Job. It's from. It's with the guy Job from Arrested Development. And
it's been on our list before because I recommended it last year. And I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, I thought I discovered it. So.
That's good though.
Anywho,
good.
I watched the first 2 seasons or the only 2 seasons or something. I like that it twists and turns, and me, I'm a sucker for any AA, like anything like associated with recovery. I dig that. I think that's just an easy way to get Jason Griffiths involved and interested in it. I love that idea of us huddling together and helping one another just by confessing. I dig that. So I liked that aspect of it. And I liked how I had a guess on how it would turn, and it was always wrong. Like it would turn a different way. Like I did a good job of writing and keeping certain things kind of hidden, but in plain sight, and then turns. I liked it, and it's funny.
How about,
like
have you seen that show?
No, I've seen it on Netflix, like the picture.
Yeah,
but I haven't.
I
imagine it's funny, but it looks very serious.
It's funny, but not like in a like super comedy way. Like it's really uncomfortably funny, right, Jason? I would say
Yeah.
But I also like BoJack Horseman, so I mean, it's not like I have to go straight comedy all the time. But
I don't know that show at all.
It's Will Arnett's voice, and it's dark, but funny.
I don't know. I really liked it too, Jason. I'm with you. Like I think you never knew if you should root for him or not, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was the hardest part, I think.
Sometimes you find out, because I like him as a character, and then you find out, man, I don't know if I should be in this guy's corner. I like those moments too, when you're like, oh man, that guy's really jerky.
And then every once in a while they try to pull you back, and you're like, I don't know still. Like I'm not. I loved his buddy with the long hair and the beard who walked the dogs in the first season.
Yeah.
Had the RV in the second season.
He's been in some other stuff too, but
is it Jason Mantzoukas? Do you know him?
I don't know.
He's a comedian.
What else does he do?
He's in the League. He's in the League. I guess I could just look up who's in the show.
No. He's not in the show.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about that.
Okay.
No, this guy has long hair and a long beard, and he's I forget what his character's name even is.
Yeah, I know. Did you watch Pete Holmes' new show, Bianca?
Which?
Pete Holmes' HBO show.
Oh yeah, I love Pete Holmes.
It's Leaf from that show.
George Basil.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
He's really funny in this show.
He's really funny in everything I've seen him in.
He's great. He's my favorite character, I think, by far.
He's also complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good call on Flake. If you're, like it's a. I think it strikes of like being a real show though, right? Like honest.
Yeah.
On some level.
It does.
Which is kind of like the twist of the show, but yeah.
Yeah, and it does strike a super on it and messed up, because things are always a little more messed up than you realize until after things fall. Yeah, I think that's right.
And I think
right?
it, like you know it when you're watching it, but you still sort of assume, oh, they can't let it be that messed up. And then it's like, they'll pull the rug out from under you every once in a while. And it's like, oh man, I wasn't even. I have a pretty dark view of human nature, and I still wasn't ready for those things.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Darker than Greg's imagination.
Well, you just assume they won't go there, and then they did a couple of times. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. And I like his voice. You remember I mentioned this guy who's kind of like a second dad to me, Greg Forgetch. His voice is exactly like his voice. Yeah.
Will Arnett's got that best voice. Oh, I like that one, Jason. Nice skit.
Agreed.
Did we lose Jason? There's a chance we lost Jason.
Oh, I am not looking. Oh, yeah.
All right. We may have lost Jason for a couple of seconds, but we'll keep rolling. B.
Okay.
My next one is Jason Isbell's new album, The Nashville Sound.
I listened to the one you suggested.
Yeah. Southeastern, right?
Yes. Very good.
Southeastern is a super good album. This Nashville Sound album is really good too. It's a different feel than Southeastern, but there's a couple of really, really good songs on it that I liked a lot. And I've only listened to it a few times, but I'm excited to keep listening to it. So anyway, if you listen to this podcast for any length of time, I'm always, pushing for Jason Isbell stuff. So I'll stay consistent.
I didn't realize you liked country so much. It's a very country sound. It is new country, but
yeah, I really like country music. I like old country a lot.
Jason
Isbell sort of splits the difference for me, but Jason Griffiths is back. I picked Jason Isbell as my number 2 thing. My second one, his new album, The Nashville Sound.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
and they give it away. You can listen to it if you have Amazon Prime, the music thing. I second him. I like. I think that's one of my favorite common threads between the two of us is that guy that is what Jason Isbell is. I like that he it has a lot. He hovers around that brokenness that we both like. He hovers around that not kind of scared to piss people off thing. I like his lyric writing. I like his music style. Yeah. There's always like a little hope.
There were a couple of songs on this album that reminded me of you, Jason. There was like, oh man, this is like conversation. I think partly like he's our age or like right in our window, and I think he's just naming what it's like to be our age as guys in a certain place.
Yeah.
And from a certain place. And so sometimes that's really relevant and sometimes it's not. And you're like, yeah, all right. But when it's really relevant, it's fantastic. He's such a good writer.
Yeah.
I'll give it a listen.
The song Vampires, or If We Were Vampires, is so good. That's a really good song. And it's actually one of those songs where it's like, you kind of, I got this from somebody else, but I can't remember who, but he has, it's a line about growing old with his wife. And like the whole song is about like maybe the reason we value love so much is because we're gonna die, and that that because of that we can live. Like if we were vampires, maybe we wouldn't care about each other the same way. And there was but there's this line where he talks about spending days, or like when she dies, that he'll spend days alive or something, like days apart, something like that. And it was where like a okay songwriter would have put time. He put days, and it was like just having days there is such a like gut punch of like, oh man, yeah, that's not gonna last at all. But it's a really good line. It's really well crafted.
Good songwriter.
Yeah. So anyway, Jason Isbell's new album, Nashville Sound. If you can listen to it, it's fantastic. It's available in a bunch of places, Spotify, I think, and like Jason said, Amazon Prime has it. So
yeah,
highly
check it out. All right, I'm up again. I haven't written anything down, but I talked about Ireland last. Sorry, guys, I don't have any pop culture things. I'll try to think of something for the third. But if you get the chance to go to Iceland, also pretty great. We stayed mostly in Reykjavik, although we did take a tour of the South Coast. And
Hold on a second, Bianca. Jason, can you name any other Icelandic cities besides Reykjavik?
I didn't know Reykjavik. I
know. Think that's the capital.
I'm O for Iceland.
Yeah. I like Sugar Ross, or as some people say, Sigur
York
Rós.
is also their number one export.
Yeah.
So, I don't know any cities in Iceland, so you can just be making this whole thing up as far as I know.
Well, that's the only one I was going to say. I couldn't even think of another one, but go ahead.
And your second could simply be Iceland. I want to hear what it looked like, what it sounds like, what it But I want to ask a question before you give it. How far? Like, it seems really far. Is it really far from Ireland? Is that kind of like, you go to Iceland?
No, it's 7 hours from Seattle, because you go over the north side. You go over Canada, so it's only 7 hours. Yeah. So like kind of a little bit further than New York from here. And then we went through Manchester, and that was, I think it's only a 3-hour flight to get to Europe from Reykjavik. I mean, if we went right to Dublin, it would have been 3 hours, but we went a little bit more east to Manchester and then went to Dublin because of our tickets. But 4 hours. Yeah, it's really not that bad.
No, it's not very far.
And that's why they all are descendant from the Vikings, because the Vikings just kind of roamed around and went from island to island, including Ireland and Iceland. So they have common ancestry, which is kind of cool, even though they don't look very similar, or and they just have different histories, but they all descend from these people, which is super interesting. Maybe that's the next book I'm going to look for, is the Vikings. But so it actually has a lot of volcanoes. We stayed near the coast, so we got to see inland to the volcanoes. There's a volcano that made some news a couple of years ago that, it was erupting, and none of the flights from Europe could leave,
right.
For days and days and days. I'm not even going to attempt to try to say the title of that volcano, because it's a really long name.
Icelandic volcano is all I haven't heard.
Everyone knows. Everyone's on board. Yeah. But But they have a few they're more worried about than others. And we walked up to a glacier that's like slowly melting away, and they're known for their black sand beach. I don't know if you've heard of that one, but it has those kind of pillars that they're growing out of the land, the cobalt, in like hexagonal shapes, these pillars.
Wow.
Yeah, and waterfalls and stuff. So I don't know, it's hard to explain the terrain. It's pretty flat when you're at sea level, and you just look inland and there's these huge volcanoes. And so they're on a naturally they're on the whole island's on a hot spot. So that's why they have these places where the heat is coming up, the geothermal, pretty much steam is coming up, and some of them have created volcanoes, and other of them, they're just the right temperature for jacuzzis and spas, like natural jacuzzis.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Go back to Greg's favorite thing in the whole world.
Hot tubs. Back to Greg's number one, like 6 weeks ago.
There we go.
If Greg were using today, you might take
that's been a good hot tub, everybody. That's built on them.
Rank it in terms of beautiful places you've been.
Oh, it was really gorgeous. Although the Northwest is the most gorgeous, but so they don't have like tall trees like that, but it's pretty in its own way. It's got like it's got a lot of farmland, so a lot of horses, but it's green farmland. You know, these volcanoes are gorgeous. They get lost in the clouds sometimes, they're so high. The beaches were gorgeous. They have these little towns. Most people live in Reykjavik, so once you leave the capital, it's like, I mean, just very few people. We would go through towns and you could see all the houses. Like if you were on top, you could see them all. And then you just move on to another, like, couple, miles and miles later, there's another town of like 100 people. So it's just very spread out. I don't think I've been to a country quite like that, or at least when I go to countries like that, I stay in the major cities. I don't know. It's just gorgeous for its own. I don't like to rank like you, Jason. I just liked it for its own reason. Does it look like
a different world? Does it look like it sounds like from what you're describing.
Well, what I like about it, which I think is unique, is it's a very cold place and a very hot place at once. They have snow, and they're known for their fur coats in the winter and everything, and it gets dark for almost 24 hours a day. In the winter, but they're also known to, it's a very hot place. And so all of their, more souvenir things in their postcards, they highlight this, isn't this a cool intersection? And it is very cool. Like, it's super cool, and the people are cool, and to be in a hot and a cold place.
Really pale? Is everybody really pale?
I mean, right now it's almost 24 hours sunlight.
Yes.
Right now they're 24 hours sunlight. So when they're outside, they're not like as pale as you're probably thinking, but they all have blonde hair, or some of them have brown hair, like Bjork has brown hair. They're not. But
there's not that many people either, right? Like, the overall population is like tiny.
What do you think? What do you think their opinion of How to Train a Dragon is?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Did you happen to catch anybody's opinion? Because that's set in Iceland, isn't it?
I don't know what that is.
The How to Train a Dragon, isn't that Iceland?
So.
With the Vikings, they have the Vikings and they train the dragons.
I think it's like, I don't think they actually say it's Iceland, right? Or do they?
I don't know.
This is a good podcasting. Let's go back to your third one, dude.
because I wonder because I've talked to some Chinese folks about Mulan, and they hate it because they think it's just trash. They've taken something actually really special, which is the story about Mulan, and they've made it into a cartoon and just dashed a lot of other things to the wayside. I don't know.
That doesn't sound like Disney at all. I don't know what you're describing.
I don't know. Okay, you think that's a dumb question? Let's keep going. My number 3. I love that you went to Iceland, B, and I love that I haven't been there, and I might not ever go there, but your description of it makes me want to go there. That's exciting. I think that's cool. Good job. I think my number 3 is when I went out and visited my aunt and uncle and my grandpa out in Dallas. I went to mass with my aunt Aunt Rosie. She's a devout Catholic, loves Jesus, and Catholic lady. And I picked up their devotionals. Like they have this thing called the Living Word, the Word Among Us, and that's like a larger devotional, like little monthly devotional thing. And then they have this little one called Living Faith, and that's like a 2 or 3 month, and it's a smaller one. And I don't know if it's because the Catholic Church is so huge and they have so many people to draw from, but that Living Faith one is, I highly recommend it. It's a really good little devotional, and it's kind of cool on 2 fronts. One of them is I've never really been kind of a devotional guy. I just don't like, I usually just like reading scripture and studying and praying and stuff like that. But the daily devotional kind of aspect of following after Jesus has kind of escaped me. I'm just like, no, they're too trivial and they don't really, I don't know, they're kind of precious momentsy, like I'm just like, I don't really like it. But I started reading these 2 over the last couple of months, and especially that little Living Faith one. It's so cool to have God meet you in a split second, and it feels like this isn't. I don't think I'm alone in this, but sometimes I feel like I open this devotional that's written by some Catholic nun, and I feel like she's writing it to me, and God meets me there and speaks through what this woman or man, sometimes it's primarily written by, it seems like more nuns and more like Catholic women write. So that's my third is this living faith, this Catholic devotional. I think it's better than, because I have tried like taking, what's that other one there's a couple Protestant ones out that everybody reads. I'm trying to think.
Like Daily Bread or Guideposts or Upper Room.
Daily Bread, that's the one I was trying to think of. The Upper Room and the Daily Bread. And I've tried to pick those up and read them, and I don't think they're written at a depth that this Living Faith is written at.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Not that I have to push down the other ones to put mine up.
No, I got you.
But that's just the Griffith. That's the Griffith's way,
You gotta rank them. That's what the author says.
Yeah, that one's better.
All right, I love that one. My third one is like, it's so funny. Like we did not plan this, but my third one is also a Catholic spiritual like development resource. There is an app for your phone you can get called Pray As You Go, and it's put out by Jesuits in England. And they have like daily prayers, which are interesting, and they have like a couple of daily services and like the rosary and things like that. But the thing that makes it really valuable for me, or that I've gotten the most out of, is what's called the Examen, which is a Jesuit practice that you do once or twice a day. This one's designed to be done at night, I think. But it's a guided Examen, so it's just an audio file that you play, and it walks you through the Examen at night. So it's a lady's voice, and she just kind of says, she kind of helps you get sort of quiet and listen for God, and then kind of walks you through different aspects of your entire day. And it's amazing. I'm really, really impressed with it. It's a super helpful, for me, I've done the Examen before, and when you kind of try to do it by yourself, sometimes it feels hollow for me. I don't know. It may not be true for everybody. I know it's not true for everybody, but having somebody kind of guide you through the questions or seem like they're guiding you through the questions is a much more helpful practice for me than the individual one. So that's
the app's name is Pray As You Go.
Pray As You Go. Yeah. If you type it into iTunes, you'll come up with a couple different apps, but look for the one that's connected to Jesuits.
Okay.
And it's really solid.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is it free?
Yeah, it is free.
Wonderful.
They have daily prayers too. I can't get into those all the way, but the Examen's been really helpful.
Awesome. Was that your third one?
That was my third one.
Oh, I thought you were like tagging off of Jason's. Like,
no,
it
just happened to be one of those things again. Like this happens with Jason and me all the time. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
Just thought of a third one, and it has nothing to do with devotional.
perfect.
Oh,
That's
praise the Lord! Steer us out of this, seriously.
Yeah. I can only always think of two, so I just thought of one, but it's not. Sorry, I have no recommendations. But my family and I are gearing up for my brother's wedding in 2 weeks, and
Casey,
I'm excited for the marriage and the wedding and everything, but I'm also excited for the family that's coming up from Texas to come see the Northwest at its most gorgeous. And it's in Bellingham, which I had said earlier, one of the best towns in Washington. And
you love that town.
Yeah, B-town, B-ham till I die. And I'm officiating the wedding, so I need to actually like get on that soon and write some things. And yeah, it'll be the first wedding that I do, and so that is exciting. I'm grateful for him and his life and his fiance, and yeah, I'm just grateful to be a part of this ceremony in a very unique, special way. I'm excited for my family to come into town, and I mean, it's kind of upending a lot of things. Like, just it's going to be crazy in a couple weeks, but yeah, it should be a great start of the summer because kids are still in school here. Yeah. So anyway, that's my third. Next time I'll actually like read some books and listen to some podcasts. But
don't make promises you can't keep.
I know.
No, plus you're traveling the world. Give yourself some breaks. Somebody, one of us texted or emailed or Instagrammed or something about how brilliant people have a hard time having three things or something. That was you, Greg?
It doesn't sound like something I would have sent. I don't know.
Remember, didn't you said? I think you did. You said you said something, and it was typically. It was very un-Greg. It was like dude. But it was very un-Greg of you. But it was like something about like how
drawing. It was that guy's drawing. Yeah, I thought it was.
It was a guy's drawing it. But
that one.
Being ungrateful ruins your joy or something like that. Or, I don't know.
Yeah, everything is great. So that's why I can't remember any of them or rank them.
Yeah. I can't believe the concert itself didn't rank anywhere.
I know. I was going to say something, but I'd already said like all this stuff about the trip, so I didn't say anything. But concert was great. Glenn opened, and they shortened his set a bit so that Eddie could come out and that the two of them could do more together than they had for the other stops in the tour. The concert poster is awesome, so I'll have to show that to you guys sometimes. It's super cool.
And would you text me that picture of Lebowski?
Yeah, it's just the sign, but yeah, I will.
Perfect.
And
text me a picture of the photo too.
Yeah, I will.
I'm sorry to be bossy. What was the best song they did together?
Yeah,
what's the best song they did together?
What I was about to say is I did like Eddie's picks. I liked Glenn's picks. But the one song I really loved when they were doing it, it was a song I didn't even know. It was like, it's an Irish, I don't know if it's a drinking song, but everyone seemed to be like putting up their glasses. But I'm pretty sure it was a drinking song. So everyone in the crowd knew it. And so they were all singing along, and then Glenn and Eddie would alternate changing the verse. You know, it's a kind of song where the verse changes, but everyone knows the chorus.
Yeah.
And it was just cool because I didn't know it. I tried to sing along at least by the last time, but it just seemed like so culturally, like everyone was so excited that, you know, they had started this song and everyone was singing along, and it was very Irish. And so even though it was a song I didn't know, it was like the one song I did know at the concert. It was still like, it was cool to be there at that moment. I mean, it was one of those moments you're like, I cannot believe I'm in Dublin right now. And like hearing this, you know, it's not a bootleg. I'm not just listening to my headphones or being like, I wish I were there. It's like, I'm in Dublin with a bunch of Irish people who love Eddie and Glenn Hansard. And so it was just a cool moment. Although there were some cool acoustic Pearl Jam songs that Eddie, you know, led us into. We did Jeremy. We, you know, all could sing Black along with him, and they ended on Hard Sun, which is one of my favorite Eddie songs from the Into the Wild soundtrack, which I didn't know they had been playing Hard Sun on the tour, and so it was awesome. I was like, that was my second favorite, even though I know that song very well, and it was both of them singing together. So check out Hard Sun, this drinking song I can't remember the name of, but if they ever bootleg it, then definitely take a listen to Dublin. And
I just looked up Pearl Jam Irish drinking song. You think it'll come up?
It's like triangle, something about triangle. And yeah, and everyone was just so excited to hear. I mean, I was excited to hear, but I wasn't an insider in that. I just got to like watch, so that was cool.
So sick, B.
Yeah. Yeah. So the concert also, I didn't want all three of them. Well, I guess that is the reason I went, and I'm glad I went. And yeah, travel if you can. I'm glad I did, and now I'm back and hit the ground running. So let me pick how many? 4, 5? Is it 5?
It's 5.
I think you picked 5.
I'll just pick all of your guys's. I lived my life.
You got to make one of those yours, like one of yours.
I really liked the concert, obviously, even though I named it as my brother's wedding. I did 2. Haha. I did 4 total, guys. I'm excited about this Alt J. I'm excited about this Alt J album. We'll say that's one of them. Okay. I guess I will look up this devotional, Jay. It sounds cool. I should probably get some Jesus in my life. How many is that? 3. I'll probably not watch Flake. Sorry, it sounds really dark. But I'll listen to Jason Isbell. That sounds good.
Nice.
I'll let you guys geek out about that Yale book. I'm out. Sorry, y'all. I'm telling you the ones I'm not picking.
I'll tell you the ones I hate.
And then I'll say I'm going to combine my 2 and say that history is pretty cool and everyone should look into the history of the places they go. Be the person who travels.
Unless it involves an unread book that nobody can read.
Yeah, good point. That seems more like a modern puzzle you want to solve, though. It's not like you actually care about those monks. Maybe you do. I don't know. But yeah, history, pretty awesome. Thanks to Greg Adkins, my stepdad, for giving me the bug of caring about where people are from and what they did before you got here.
Yeah,
so pretty cool. Anyway, that's it.
That's awesome.
Thank you, guys.
That's This Week in Gratitude. This Week in Gratitude.
Unbelievable. Nice work, everybody.
I'm really glad we got back together.
Yeah.
Hey, on a programming note, we will record next week, and those will all get posted. But then we will be off for about a month, and we'll come back again in August. So, I hope you guys have a great summer, and we will talk to you again soon.
Bye.